Hey there, I have some pretty exciting news, and that is really news that's driven off of the fact that in the last couple of weeks, the full, the fun, or what I think is going to be interesting about my game, Hexagod, has finally come into a form that I can't help but be excited about. I was messaging my friend on Discord. They were being so gracious and asked me about how Hexagod was going. As I was talking to him yesterday, I just started kind of word vomiting at him about all my fun ideas for my pivots and changes, and we can get into that in a second. But the fun thing is, I think right now I have a good idea of what is going to make my game Hexagod really fun. And that has given me a lot of, validation in the fact that I can hit the Steam Next Fest in February. Now, I'm not actually officially in it because at one point, the funny thing is, I had, as I was getting the Steam page for Hexagod put together here, I had to pick a release date. Even though it says coming soon on the page, I think in the background, or maybe I messed it up, but you have to pick a date. I picked August 1st, 2024. Originally, this was supposed to be a 30-day project that I was just going to run really quickly, put on Steam, maybe call it a free game or a $1 game or whatever. But as it happens, we scope creep and we see the fun of an idea, and so I've been cooking on it ever since then. In order to join the Next Fest, you have to have a game that is planned to be released after March 3rd. And if you are familiar with the calendar out there and how dates work, you'll realize, as I did this morning, drinking my coffee here, that March 3rd, 2025 is after August 1st, 2024. So I've reached out to Steam support. I mentioned I'm pretty excited by Hexagod right now. Well, I'm sticking with turn-based mode. Thank you so much for all of your feedback. The funny thing is, after I released that video, I went over onto my stream and chatted with my Twitch chat, who have played the game again and again and again, and were instrumental in the initial design phase and prototyping of Hexagod. They didn't like it. They didn't like turn-based mode. They thought, yes, let's absolutely put it back into real-time strategy game that's pausable and not this turn-based mode, because Aarimous, it's not going to be as fun. And I was like, oh, that's fair enough. Okay, well, I will do that. And then I kind of let it cook for the weekend, and you left a bunch of great comments on my page. I read all of them. I don't respond to all of them because chatting on YouTube sucks. So if you actually want to have a deeper conversation, there'll be a link below to my Discord where we can have actually discussion about mechanics and stuff like that. So if you do want to do that, Discord's an option. I'll be live after this video happens over on Twitch as well if you want that live interaction back and forth. I decided to stick with turn-based mode because of your feedback and how many of you said this matches the vibe I'd expect from this game. And quite personally speaking, I'm making a game that I want to play. I kind of want it to be a turn-based game. I think it's a bit more interesting. It's a bit less time pressure, and you can kind of sit back, relax. And one of the big challenges I've faced with trying to come up with replayability for a game like this is, how do you add replayability, i.e. each time you play it, you're going to have a new, fun, and different and unique experience, while also not exploding the scope. Because I was looking at a couple games in the genre, something like Against the Storm. Against the Storm has a really big campaign map, but then when you go in and do each individual run, there's lots of depth as far as a roguelike adventure goes, blueprints and different map layouts and stuff like that. And so I was trying to come up with some sort of a way to add in, oh, hi, Carl. That was his tail going across the screen there. Some sort of a way to add in replayability to the game without blowing up the scope. Hey there, Aarimous from the future here. If you haven't already, go check out Hexagod. What I'm talking about in this video right now, all these changes are live over on Steam. Don't worry about the assets on the store page or no trailer. I'm going to worry about that when I need to. Right now, I'm trying to make the game as fun as possible, and I need your help and your feedback. And if you haven't already, make sure you wishlist the store page, because I'm already at 1,500, but the higher this number gets, the more people are going to be able to see the game, which can give it a higher chance of success, which means maybe I can make more content for you in the future. I appreciate your support. Let's dive right back into the video. And that centers around, in my head, 3 factors of ways that I can hook into existing systems and not blow up the scope. And the first is going to be these discoverable islands you can see in the mist here. They're denoted by these kind of darker cells. And if you build over to them and then build something adjacent to or overlapping them, they will appear. And the interesting thing about that is it's bonus tiles. It's going to give you a fun, unique bonus. This one, for example, had a bunch of stone adjacent to it also happen to have a bunch of stone adjacent to it. Maybe this is a bad seed. Or maybe this is a stone-rich seed. Who knows? That could be a way to theme your build. Then all of a sudden, something like the obelisk, which converts 2 stone into 4 favor, could become a really powerful building, because all of a sudden you have all these great stone places that you could go and build stone quarries on. My design idea for islands is I want them to be chests. I want them to be things you can work towards. You can say, okay, cool, well, let me work toward this other one. And once you open the chest full of loot, I've been playing a lot of PoE 2, so my brain's in loot mode. Once you open the chest, you have this moment of, what did I get? Oh, cool, I have some new tiles to work with. These islands are going to have their max number of resources. So you can see if I place just a tile group here, it only gets 1 of its resources, but these islands down here are going to be up to their max. And remember, the max number is equal to the adjacency of like tiles. So you get 1 for this forest, but then it's adjacent to another forest. So each of them will have a max of 2 wood. So just a way to kind of make them exciting, make you want to maybe move your villagers out to them. And then in the future, I'm planning on putting like hidden, maybe island only tile improvements, or maybe purely a chest that you open up and you get random resources from it. Stuff like that to really make it kind of this unique, interesting, exciting place to build to. Now, that's number 1. And as I was building that out, I'm like, I think this is going to be a roguelike game. I think it's going to be a roguelike game. I think one of the things that's going to make Hexagod really fun is speedrunning it. And the funny thing is, there was someone in my Twitch community who keeps speedrunning the demo and posting how fast they can do it. And it's really exciting to... I was like, okay, that's a weird way to play the game. This isn't really a speedrunning game. But then as I sat with that idea more and more and more, that's kind of fun. I do that in Civ 6. As I'm playing a game, I'll try to min-max what I'm doing to basically get my build online and win the game as quick as possible. And I think that could be the perfect way to win this game, is trying to do it as quick as possible. So the second big thing I'm gonna be adding into the game is going to be these relics. Not even gonna be adding it. I added it yesterday. So when you place down a relic, you get a loot screen where you get to pick 1 of 3 relics. These are gonna be permanent buffs. Think Jokers from Balatro. Where you get to basically adjust how the game works. So Dawn is going to be a relic that says every day gain 1 favor per village, quickness, increase villager movement per 1, and cornucopia, grasslands recharge 1 day sooner. I went with 6 basic relics that I could do here, but I'm going to expand upon this. I think I want upwards of maybe 5 or 6 total relics in a run. So I want them to be these powerful buildings that you can make and then slot in a relic. The third system, which is not in place yet, is going to be creating a set of standard actions. So things that at a bare minimum you want to be able to do to play the game. Spawning a new villager, building a shrine, building some food, maybe building some logs and stones. Some really basic resources that you can put on your tiles to improve the playability of the early game. But then I want to have a rotating shop of like 3 to 6 items that rotates daily or every so often that will give you maybe the quarry or the lumber camp or a farm or rabbits or different things that are going to be basically more powerful versions. And because they're going to be rotating randomly every day, I can make them kind of pretty powerful then. Because right now, one of the balancing constraints of all of these different options is I have to think about the fact that the player always has access to those options. If all of a sudden I hide some of them through some randomness, it's going to add in another vector for that random build making to occur. Because maybe then you have some relic that says, whenever you gain a wood, you also gain a favor, and then you see the lumber camp pop up, and then you say, perfect, I'm doing a build run, a build where I'm going to try to go as much wood as possible, so then I get as much favor as possible, so then I have a much more buying power as possible. And as a player, I love games that have those sort of builds where you can find these broken combos and feel like you're getting one over on the developer. It's why I love Slay the Spire, and I'm going to probably love Slay the Spire too, is because it really feels like there's some interesting and unique builds, and you're trying to gain this insane power. So hopefully I can find ways to build relics that feel big and impactful. Go check out the demo. At least the Discoverable Islands and the relics are live right now. I'll be working on the shop, and I'll be live over on Twitch after this video goes live. talking about the design of some of these relics and stuff like that. So if you have ideas, come stop by, or you can leave a comment over in my Discord channel. Make sure to wishlist Chess Survivors, not Chess Survivors, buy Chess Survivors, wishlist Hexagod, and until next time, I've been Aarimous. I'll see you later. This stuff's hard. Making games is hard. It's hard. You'll figure it out. I believe in you. Bye-bye.